something. So okay.
Now, what's it gonna record?
Over here. It is going to record all 6 of us, but if you hit highlight, so top one, so you guys can learn, if you hit spotlight for everyone and pin, it will record just the main portion and not everyone's face watching. Highlight, and I think you have to do pin now.
Give me 1 second, I gotta find that pin. It's not here anymore.
Try go to view.
Here, right here.
And then on this side, Jason, you have to hit got it so that you understand that you're saying, I understand that we're recording it.
Here, right here. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
Where's got it? Or now I'm trying to find the pin.
Pin. Okay, so go to oh, where did it go?
It's gone. That's what I'm trying to say. It's
maybe you don't have to hit pin then. Maybe it's only when you put somebody else who's not me in it. Try put Becky in there. So click on her face, hit the top 3 buttons, and it should say pin. Or so try hit pin first. We'll move all spotlight. Try hit, just continue. So we'll test this right now. And then on Becky's, it says pin. So now we have to spotlight it. So pin means I can see her as my primary. Does everybody else see Becky as the primary?
No.
Okay,
No.
so she's my primary. So now if you hit spotlight, the spotlight button. Oh, here, try this bottom right where her name is. There's a pin thing that's coming up. See if that scans out into like a screen.
Nope.
No.
So I'm gonna do this, you guys. I'm gonna remove the pin.
Okay, and just use spotlight.
And then I'm just gonna use spotlight.
Okay. So then top 3 dots and hit spotlight for everyone.
Okay.
Okay.
Everybody can see this?
I think this should be recording this part then.
Okay, here we go.
All right. But just in case it's not, don't do anything funny like rub your nose a lot because I tend to do that when I'm on camera.
Everybody can see Jamie's hand, right?
Okay. So here we have the V. This is one way you can make it. Now, if you want a sharper V, you can just pinch it like this, and then you can pull it out. And that will make even a sharper V, okay? The last thing you can do is if you're in 16 gauge or 14, you can't just pull it. It just won't let you. So then you take your round nose plier and you split the V. And it'll give you that option. See how it's like splitting it? And then you can open it. So that is if you want the creased V. If everybody's kind of got it, can you shake your heads and I can see that I'll go to the next one. Awesome. Now the next kind of V would be the loopy V. Like this.
Good job. Look, just
Okay.
mine there.
So the loopy V looks like a circle, a loop around your round nose plier. And then Shirley was showing it to us earlier.
She did.
That's the loopy V. Okay, like this. Can everybody see that? Now you can take the loopy V and you can turn this to a different angle. Grab it. And you can also make it in this angle. You don't have to grab it and turn it the way I am. You can make it and form it, and I can show you guys. So then you don't see it. It's easier if it's smaller too, but I'm just gonna change this one. Can you see that now? How the loop is now invisible to your eye? Okay. So with the loopy V, you can do it where you can see the loop, or you can do it where you don't see the loop. Now there's more hearts. You guys want me to keep going, or is that enough? Keep going? Anyone? You want to just stop on those and work on that? Okay, I'll keep going. I never know what people want to learn, right? So if you want to get started on making your hearts, just start with whatever I'm showing you. So then there is like the not closed hearts, where You can put a loop on each side. Here's one version. And you can make the middle part either longer or you can make the loops smaller. And where it's open. And then you can do a lot with that shape. And if you use a really large gauge wire, like a 14, you don't even have to have them touch here. You can do it like this. It's kind of cute. I was looking at an earring that someone had done. Now imagine this like 5 times bigger. And what they did was they just bound, they didn't actually even have it touch, sorry. It was open. And then you can bind the 2 pieces together here while it's open. Jason, you think you can make that, you can minimize your window just a little bit, just drag it smaller. Okay. And if you take a piece of wire and you bind it right here, it will keep those 2 pieces closed and together. Okay. Now there's different ways we can shut the heart as well. So we can cover that. There is where we fold these 2 pieces over each other and we lock it down shut. There's the loop into each other. And then there's the touch and bind. Why am I telling you all this? Because whenever you make a heart and you have a piece of wire and you're like, it's not going the way I want, I just want you to know, don't give up. Just redirect whatever it is you're doing and just change the path that you're on and it'll work. Just don't get stuck thinking, I have to make it that way. You can make it asymmetrical. One puff can be bigger than the other. That also works. Binding also helps. Locking things into each other and hammering it also helps. So if you had a heart and you had the 2 legs and you couldn't hook them into each other for whatever reason, maybe the loop was too small, maybe you didn't have enough wire, you can just bring it together and you can bind them here at the base. So try to think like with everything that we're talking about, loops, creases, binding, that you can take any piece of wire and turn it into a heart, no matter what gauge it is, as long as the proportions are solid, as long as if you've hardened it, and as long as it's closed off on the weakest points, okay? So, haha, now what shall we do with all that information? I have a bunch of handouts that I sent you guys. I don't know if somebody's like, I'm gonna make that, I'm making that earring, I'm gonna make all large gauge hearts and I'm gonna hammer them. But we have enough time that I can actually demonstrate multiple things. So if someone wants to tell me what gauge wire you have out there and your plans, we can start with that. I can do it with a pre-measured piece of wire. I can also do it with a random piece of wire. We can do it with a cut length. We can do it with a non-cut length. I want to teach you how to be so good at it that it won't matter. You pick up a piece of wire, you'll be like, I'm gonna make a heart. And then you'll feel confident, no matter what it looks like. Debbie, what do you want to start with?
Let's start with a measured and cut piece of wire.
Okay,
And
okay,
I have 18 or 16 gauge in front of me.
okay. I'll do a 16 too. Does anybody else have 16 or does everybody have 18, 20? Because then I can size it down depending.
Chime in.
We're all friends here, so you can leave on your things and chit chat with me throughout this, okay? Well, I will then cut 3 inches of wire while I wait for someone to tell me what they want. But don't forget, you always want to flush cut your wire. Laura, what kind of wire are you using today? Lolly.
I have in front, I have a 20
You're 20.
gauge. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So for your 20 gauge, then you want to cut maybe, let's make a teeny one. How about if you cut 1.5 inches of wire for fun?
Okay.
Okay.
1.5. Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna have you make a miniature.
Okay.
Can you tell them the limitations of
I will. After they make it, they will start to know.
tell someone with good strong hands to do
I
the
have-
16 gauge.
Because I have made, yeah,
More than that.
yeah. If you try to do like a 16 gauge heart in 1.5 inches in a wire, you need the strongest fingers in the world. But if you're gonna do it in 20, you could definitely do it.
You can do it.
Okay, so let's start with the basic one. It's, to me, the easiest way to do it is where you're gonna start on your wrap and tab. And this is gonna be the shaper, but it's not making anything. All it is shaping the wire for you. There's two things you can do when you're doing this. You can start with the loop at the end, or you can put the loops on after. Let me show you. I will just put a loop so you can see, okay? And then I shaped it around one of the jaws of here. Oh, Jason, can you minimize
Yeah.
that? Well, here, let me show you how to minimize it. Take
Sure.
the corner and just drag it, and it'll make it smaller so you can leave it up. Oh, okay, okay. Okay. Alrighty. Sorry, you guys, me and Jason are sharing one screen. Why? I don't know. We should, after 400 shows, we should actually have our own screens, yeah?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Built you that one right there in front of you.
Ah, thank you. I didn't even
Under-
see it.
That's under Jason.
Arigato, arigato,
All
that's
you gotta do is
perfect.
that.
I have an iPad in front of me. I didn't even see it. It was behind my mandrel.
And you have a iPhone in front of you.
Does everybody feel like you are at the same point as me? And Jason, can you please arrow through, because I can't see everybody at once. If you can
Yeah.
arrow through, and then I'll
There's only
see.
one batch left.
Is it Nancy?
It's Nancy.
Nancy, can you turn on your camera so then I can see what you guys are doing too? And if you want, you guys, you can aim your cameras down at your hands now, because your name is on the screen, so then I can look at what you're doing as well. And I will look with kind eyes. So don't worry. There's no,
Face it toward me.
oh, go get him, Nancy.
Jamie. That way, use this. And then
I
you can
have
see-
a problem.
But then it won't record
it's recording.
the spotlight.
Yeah, it's right here.
Oh, thank you, Jason.
It's
Thank
still
you.
recording.
Okay, what's your problem? Somebody said they have a problem. Was it you, Nancy?
Oh, that was me, Nancy.
This is Nancy's first class.
No, it's not. I've taken other classes before, but
We've done wire before.
oh no, not wire. Sorry, sorry. Oh, I was supposed to.
Surprise.
All right, tell me
Sorry,
your
long story.
tell me your problem, and then I'm gonna move on. If I only see your face, you guys, I can't see what you're making. So please try to turn your camera, if you can, towards your hand, or keep your hands up a little bit so I can see what you're working on. Perfect. Thanks, Laura. Thank you, Brenda.
This is Ruth. I'm just joining to watch.
Okay, okay,
So that's why you don't see my hands.
gotcha.
Thank you.
Nancy, what's your problem?
Nancy has hearts.
Oh, the problem is I can't get them equal.
Oh, the loops.
I-
Okay, I'm going to show you
yeah.
how to do that. I'm going to show you. All right.
Okay.
So now that we've done the curve, now we're going to do the fold back. Now in the middle of your 3 inches of wire, if you have a Sharpie pen, because I didn't add that to your piece. So on your next one, we're going to Sharpie pen it. But what I eventually want to do is be able to teach you how to eyeball everything. So you don't need to measure and you don't need to Sharpie, because you'll understand how this is being formed. So I'm just going to teach you. This is like the rough, hardcore wire. You're going to look at where you think center is, and you're going to bend it back. Okay, once you've bent it back, you're gonna have two puffs. You're gonna take, if you don't, Brenda, do you have wrapping taps? You can head shake, yes or no. You have wrapping taps? Yes? No?
Sure.
Laura, good?
Can you show them the pliers?
So a wrapping tap looks like this. It's like it's a tool that has multiple steps. Perfect, perfect. So if you look at your wrapping tap from the top, you want to start to understand what is it going to do when you use this jaw? What is it going to do when you use this jaw? So this, by looking at your wrapping taps from the top, you can see the diameter of the different loops. What you want to do is hold that diameter of the one that you think you're going to want to make inside that curve. So I think I'm going to take the small wrapping tap, the one with the 3 jaws, the smaller one, I'm putting it on the base. And I'm going to start curving it just to see. Okay, like that. I'm going to flip it to the other side. And I'm going to start curving it just to see. Okay, I'm like, oh, okay, that's good. 3 inches of 16 gauge wire on the 3rd jaw of my wrapping tap makes a heart that looks like this.
And you guys, she's using the medium wrapping tap versus the large wrapping tap.
Yes. If
And
there's
then
any,
there's a 6 step.
if
So
there's any beginners here, I'll
Yeah.
show you all 3. So the 6 stepper has like 6 different loop sizes. The biggest of the loops is either equal or a little smaller than the biggest on here. This is the medium wrapping tap, the smaller of the 2 big ones. And this is the large wrapping tap. So the diameter on this big one, it's about the size of maybe like almost like a nickel penny, maybe. Hold on. And because I don't know what tools everybody has, I'm going to just kind of guess what you can use. But if you have any round objects at home, plastic or metal, you can also wrap around those to make this first loop or the second. Okay. So this is what I want to show you. So Nancy was asking, how does she make the puffs equal, right? And we're here. And let's say I'm like, oh, I didn't want this heart to be that big. So I'm going to show you how to size down. So I'm going to go on the smaller jaw and I'm just going to wrap around that and wrap around that. So it's got, what you're going to notice though, look, it squished my heart legs down, right? And it looks kind of funky. But that's okay. Let me show you how to fix that. Take your flat nose plier and you're going to start fixing the legs from the angle where it curves. So pinch, pinch, pinch. Now bring the legs in and in. Okay, so ignoring the bottom part, you can be like, okay, now this side is still puffier than this side, right? You can either make this leg bigger or this leg smaller. It's always one or the other. If 2 sides don't match, one side has to get bigger or one side has to get smaller. I will make this side smaller with pinch, pinch, pinching. And angle it in. Now you have 2 legs. Don't worry about the excess wire. You're just learning how to make hearts right now. We're going to cut and re-roll these to match. So the trim and re-roll is what I'm going to show you next. Can everybody show me what they got in their hands so far? Good. So Nancy, you're at the part where you're going to crank it back. Debbie, you're at the part that if you wanted to, you could pinch one side to make it smaller to match the other. But I like asymmetrical hearts. So I like it when one puff is bigger than the other. So that's kind of like up to you guys. Shirley, that's good. You're at the part where we're going to turn a loop. Your volume is not on. So if you want to tell me what you said again, you can. Brenda, can I see yours? Nice. So you're also at the part where you're going to turn a loop at the bottom so we can get the X to match here. Becky, what you got? Okay, Becky, can I help you with yours? That's perfect. It's perfect. I would like to fix it. There's only one thing you need to do. We got to make the puffs bigger and crank it. So yours is the perfect example of what the crank will do. Okay, So give me 1 second. Let me match up to you. Get my wire. Becky, yours is perfect because that's what every beginner's heart looks like. Everybody's. That is a,
This is Valerie. She just wanted to join us.
oh,
Everybody say hi to Valerie.
we have a new friend today. Valerie, hi.
Hi, Valerie.
All righty.
So,
I'm gonna go and make Becky's heart right now.
okay.
Becky's perfect heart. You're the sensei's dream. And it looked like you used your round nose plier to do the center, yeah? Did you use your round or your chain? Chain?
No, I need to find small. I think I need to find smaller point chain nose pliers. I think is my problem. Is part of my problem.
Okay, okay, no
Is that
worries.
they're like too like big to make
Okay.
the small, like fine little movements essentially.
Okay. Oh, you know what we could do then? We can do the other style heart center for on yours. Okay, so basically though, this is what Becky had, okay?
Yeah.
This will also answer Nancy's question. Okay, Becky, look. That kind of looks like what you have, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a wrap and tap?
Yeah, I only have my 6-step, like my
Okay.
like the
Okay. I'll use my 6-step too. So I'm going to use the biggest jaw. So I'm going to open it up. Don't be afraid. Open it up. Put your big jaw in. Bring the wire around. Now do this. Roll down. Pull the wire leg out. Roll down. Pull the wire leg out. Roll down and pull the wire leg out. Don't worry about this being ugly. You're going to take your flat nose plier and you're going to pinch, 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 pinch until you get all those kinks out. And then push it in. Okay, now take the other side, put the tool in, the largest jaw, roll down, bring the leg out, roll down, bring the leg out. Then pinch, 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 pinch until you get the leg straight. You put the tool back in and you can bring it around. Then we're going to start working with it to make it look more heart-shaped. But you see how just a couple of rows and just a couple straightens has gotten us to that point where now it can turn into the heart of your dreams. I'll wait for you to catch up before I touch any more. How's everybody's doing? Give me some feedback, give me some questions so that I can help you figure out also how to use your tools to make the hearts that you want.
oh, no, it's like oh.
Okay, hold it up. Let me see. That's cute. Do you like it?
Yeah, I just need to like this side is like annoying me. It's like
Okay,
bleh.
pinch,
but-
pinch, pinch with
Pinch,
your
yeah,
flat
yeah,
nose. Yep, pinch it, pinch, pinch. And then when you bring it in, you can hold it with your round nose pliers. So when you bring it in, hold it with the tool and then watch how I'm using my finger to mold it around the tool. Like this.
Yeah, massage the wire.
Let me see yours.
Oh, look. That's a good one.
Cute. Okay, so I know what Nancy's thinking. How come this curve right here is not perfect? Because I know Nancy. So let me show you how to perfect that curve. You see how it has a little bit of a bulge right here? So Nancy, you will pinch, 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 pinch. So you have to pinch more than you think.
Inch more than an inch.
Pinch more than an inch.
So also that where is that where it connects at the top? I feel like it's too wide and
Oh, okay, okay.
how do
So
you get that in?
you can just chain nose might be easier. To make it less wide, you can bring it in and then bring them together.
Ah,
And then you can separate it to the distance that you want. Okay, so you see I took the bulge out on both sides. So now all you have to do is put your plier back in wherever you want and come in. Now, what if you don't have a wrap and tap and you're like, Jamie, I'll never buy one of those. Then you got to buy something. You got to have something that's graduated or stepped, because if it's graduated, this kind of replaces all the wrap and taps, this bezel mandrel. Let me get a bit away so I can poke it under. And you see how it goes skinny to large. So then Nancy can then put on her, I'll put this heart here, and you can put it down and be like, right here is where I want it. And you can take your
Sharpie.
nylon jaw, because this puff is being naughty and you want that puff to come down. Okay. And then you put on the other side, the same place where you can definitely Sharpie it, and then you can bring it down so that you can use the mandrel. Now, the harder part about using the mandrel is you can't just grab and roll. There's no leverage, right? But the beauty of it is you can be like, I would like my puffs to be huge. And you just keep sliding it down on your wire to wherever you want it to be. So do I use all these tools? I do. But let's say you have only one heart you want to make over and over on this recipe I gave you. And it's this one. It's 3 inches and you will only forever make that heart. Then you only need the large wrap and tap plier. That's it. So we gave you recipes too, so that if you only have one tool or you want to make one shape, and that's your standard, and like you want to make hundreds of these for necklaces and bracelets, you're all set. You don't have to get mandrels and whatnot. This is more if you're like, oh, I want to be creative with any gauge of wire. Yeah, because you can't use any gauge of wire on the large wrap and tap. This works with 18, 16, and 14. Yeah. Okay. Let me give Nancy her heart back. Do you have any questions about anything else?
No, I think
You want to finish it?
yeah.
Okay. I was so tempted to finish it for her, but then that's the fun part. I'll take it away from her. Okay. Now, how are you guys feeling about what we just did? And if you look at your piece, do you want to show it to me so I can give you some feedback? Nice. So Laura, at this point, we can make another loop and we can hook it in to that loop at the bottom. And then it'll stay shut. Miss Debbie, let me see yours. Beautiful. So now you're going to make your hook and hook it into the bottom. Now, I love how I like your dent at the top, the point. What are we calling that part again?
The V?
A V. Thank you. I'm going to write that down.
Thank
The
you.
V. Yours is so nice.
I have played with it.
It's funny because like some people like that Mary Engelbreit high heart style, and some people like the fat wide ones. But whenever I teach this, or when I used to teach it in person, I used to love touching everybody's hearts, because everybody liked everybody else's hearts. They would always like, I like yours, or I like yours. And I'm just laughing because I'm like, oh man, I've seen like thousands of hearts and everyone says the same thing. I like somebody else's. I guess that's just human nature, just to admire something that's in somebody else's lap. All right, Miss Becky, you want to hold yours up? Oh, good job. It's so cute.
Yeah, and that took forever to.
That did not. It only
It
took like
did. No, I just like each time I would fix it. Like I like symmetry. I'm annoying. I can't stand when things don't match. So it takes a while to get the loops to.
it
be the
does. Okay,
same
now what you can do is
size.
don't switch what you just did. Do it 3 more times. Do that 3 more times. But instead of you won't close it off, okay? We're going to close it off and link it to make a bracelet. So just make it to the point where you could put the loop in and turn it, but don't. So that's going to be your assignment while we talk about some other things, so that if that is your goal and you want to make it symmetrical, you just have to keep doing it so that the same part of the plier is being repeated. Okay, now let us try the heart.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was late. I was at my grandson's ball game. But anyway, what gauge wire and how long should I make it?
Okay, so we're using any gauge you want. What do you got?
Okay.
And I'll
Oh,
tell
I've
you.
got them all. Right now I'm using 18 gauge,
Okay, use 18. And then why don't you cut 3 inches?
3 inches. Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
3 inches.
Okay.
And this time I'm gonna have one of the students walk you through it. Who wants to teach our new friend so you can practice your skills? I was watching on YouTube this morning about this guy who makes presentations, and you know what he said he does? He records himself every day going to work talking about something he doesn't know a lot about. And that's how he improves. So he played it for us, and yeah, what he sounds like when he's driving in his car to what he's doing when he's doing his YouTube like masterclass presentation is completely different. So I want you to feel afraid a little bit to try to teach, but it will also reinforce everything you know about it. And then I'm happy to jump in as well. Debbie?
I knew you were going to call on me. I'm going to just hold it in front of the camera because I'm using an iPad and I don't have any way to tilt it.
Yeah, perfect.
So,
Perfect. And I'll do it with you, okay? So I'll have my hands also
thank
do
you.
it. You're gonna do about 3 inches?
I cut 3 inches. I did measure and mark at 1.5 inches
Okay,
because
so
I feel I still need to.
okay, so I'm gonna cut 3 inches, make sure both ends of my wire are flush cut, very important. And then I'm gonna
Yes.
mark it at 1.5 inches. We're not gonna do eyeballing on this one. Everybody can mark. Now you know where the center of your wire is at the 1.5 inch mark. Check.
Okay, so I'm going to pinch it with my plier and roll back the little curl at the end.
Okay,
Whoops.
so we're gonna start with a loop at the end. You can put the
Yes.
loop on at any time. Let's start with it now.
Later. Camp already did like. pretty bad, so-
It's funny because you'll see, I love like that you can make the heart in any stage. You can start in the center, you can start at the end.
So I just cranked it back. This is my little loop.
Check.
Okay. Then I'm going to take my plier and put it at the little mark in the middle. And I'm trying the other tool this time. And I'm going to crank it back
Okay, we're gonna make the V.
for the V. And I think I need to pinch it because that didn't go so well.
Oh, Judith's iPad is in the meeting.
When was it?
I don't know. Does mine look like what you're doing, Miss Debbie?
Whoops.
Judy?
In the
Oh, you-
middle.
Yeah, you made yours tighter. Okay. I made mine tighter too.
Okay, then we're going to put it on the middle, the second jaw of the wrapping tab. Man, I am all thumbs here today.
You're doing so good. Keep going.
Start bending it.
Okay, and make the puff. Oh, that's cute.
I don't know how cute mine is, but it's bent.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go to the other side. I think starting out with my V more closed this time made it look very different.
Yeah. It made it look very pointy, which is kind of cool. So if you like a pointy
Yeah.
heart, look, totally different, right? Than this. The
Yes.
puffs are higher. So now Miss Debbie is going to do the grab and roll, the grab and roll. So you're gonna grab
And I'm
it.
seeing why it's probably better for me to do the little loop on the end later, because now I had to turn it to get it back outside.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Okay.
I did have to think about where my loop placement was gonna be. So Debbie had short legs, so she's gonna grab it and she's gonna roll down a little, straighten out the leg. And then you can grab it, roll down a little and straighten out the legs.
And would it be helpful for me to use the first jaw? Or no?
I will watch you.
I don't know if I can get it up there in focus.
Pin her.
No, you know what? She has a setting on that's causing it
Oh,
to
the
blur her
background.
background. Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know how to turn that off.
Oh, Jason, could you go into
Would it be under more?
click on more, Jason. No, they moved it. It is now under, you see stop video? On the right-hand side of stop video, there's a caret. All the way to your left.
Carrot?
All the way to your
Oh,
left.
to the left?
All the way to your left. Some more right there. So that caret, you see if you click on it,
This?
and then it's going to say blur my background. So Debbie, you're going to unclick blur my background.
I don't see a carrot. Mine says zoom to the left.
Do you see anything that says stop video?
Yes.
And is there a little like a little
It's a triangle.
triangle maybe
Open
on yours?
triangle that
An
points
open
up.
triangle?
It's a pull-up menu. It's a pull-up menu. It's a
Oh.
little tab.
Are you on? She's on iPad. Okay, so on iPad, it might be under. 1 second. It's under more, top right corner,
Okay.
I believe, and then background and effects, and then hit
Okay.
click on none.
But
That's gonna
none.
yeah, yeah. There you go.
Now, how do I get out of that?
Oh, and then
Tap the screen again.
tap your how come it doesn't turn off? Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Debbie, you're right. It's not disappearing now that we turned it. Zoom's
I don't know
inner.
what to do to get rid of it.
This button.
I tried. It doesn't want to go away.
Oops.
Uh-oh. It's stuck on mine too on my iPad.
And now it says image cannot be deleted.
There, just push it away.
Where?
Let me.
Try no. Here, bring it here and let's
Oh, I can move it, but I can't get rid of it.
Tap the.
Debbie, tap the let me bring it back up. So counterintuitive. Top left corner of your screen, there's 2 arrows coming together.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Backwards.
Okay.
All right. If anybody else has a zooming problem, let me know. Okay. So this is Debbie's hearts. Now, how is everyone feeling about this basic heart? If you are not comfortable with it, please, please tell me, because I want to walk you through it till you are comfortable with it.
Here. Let's see the hearts. Put it up. If you made it.
Nice. Nice.
Nice. Wow, go Nancy.
Valerie, nice. Okay, so
Nice,
now,
Valerie.
Valerie, if you want to start bringing your legs in,
You can show her, huh?
like, can you see my hands on the screen? Okay, so then you can put in, you can kind of use this to round it out if you kind of lost some of your rounding. And then you're going to bring it in and you can bring it in. Then you're going to take your flat edge tool. This is what we were doing earlier. And you're going to pinch, 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 pinch to straighten the legs out. So we need to add a very extreme curve for the puff, but then it's too extreme. So we have to straighten the legs thereafter.
Jamie,
Yeah.
it's Ruth. So before you go any further, because you're you're very fast on this. Debbie had mentioned that when she made her V, that her bottom loop was on the inside of the heart instead of the outside.
Mhm.
And so she turned it. My question is, so if you start like Debbie was saying, which is a great way to start, in my opinion, if she makes the loop and then you go to make the V,
Mhm.
what is the orientation? Can you start at that point and show me, would you make the V so that, how would you visualize which way you're going to
Oh,
make your V
it's on
so
the
that your
PDF
loop
that
is
I
on the,
sent. If you guys, there's a PDF I emailed everybody. So if you look at the Super Heart Love PDF, there is a photo, and I'll do the same movement, but that way, if you forget, you can refer to the PDF. Okay. So it looks like this. Hold on. Right here. The orientation is this one. But I can
Perfect.
do it from the start also.
No. That's perfect. Thank you. I don't have the PDF, so that's why.
Gotcha. But now, and nobody else probably looked at the PDF yet. Now they will, because they're going to be like, oh, the picture's right there.
Perfect. Thank you. Not that it doesn't harm the wire, does it, to have to turn it? I mean,
No. But then what you might want to do after you do it a couple times and you keep forgetting where the loop's going to be, you might just add the loop at the end. You might be that person who doesn't want to put the loop from the beginning. Because if you have to stop and think, hey, what is the orientation? I would say, then just pop it on at the end. Then you don't have to think about orientation. I used to teach it with the loop, and then I'd have to teach everybody how to memorize where to put the loop. Then a couple of years later, I was like, why don't I just show the loop at the end? Because everyone kept turning theirs, right? So I tried to adapt to the way the brain was doing it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you. And you started with soft wire, right?
Yes, you can do it with half hard. It does work too. So if you only have half hard wire, you can.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm trying to watch all the faces to see if there's anybody with a question face. Laura, how's your hearts?
I keep having a problem with the the symmetry of the loops.
Okay. So what you need to do, you're almost there. You need to bring in the legs deeper. You need to bring here, watch my hands. Your legs are like, hold out your piece. I want to look at your piece. Your legs are like this. The angle of the legs is straight, not like my thumb, but your legs are like this. I need your legs like this. So wrap it more around your wrap and tap. So put your wrap and tap back in and do this. Make an exaggeration of like this, where you almost made it look like it's flat. Okay. Then once it's flat, I want you to take your flat nose pliers and straighten out the legs. Your curve, watch my touch where I'm touching, your curve needs to start here. Then we need to flatten out the legs thereafter. So you don't have enough curve here. We have to put the curve in with the tool.
Okay.
It's going to look weird. It has to look weird. Then we're going to fix the legs.
Okay.
So wire is really interesting, you guys. It has to have the intention put in, and then it has to get fixed. You can't make something look rounded in wire by inching along to make it round. It's almost like you have to make it beyond the point. So if the wire learned that you wanted it round, then you can straighten out the very last piece of whatever it is you need to do. And I'll give you an example, like making ear wires. I think if I make an ear wire, you will say, that's what she's talking about.
Okay. Like this?
Yes, and now we're going to pinch all the way down to straighten it from here. So watch where I'm pinching from. From here. So you want to pinch. Pinch. Turn it around, pinch, pinch. So you're almost like you're pinching out the angle you made. Well, not almost like you are. You're pinching out the angle you made, but it's still curved here at that top puff.
Mhm.
Let me see where you're pinching.
It's hard to show you. Here,
Yeah, pinch it straight.
here,
Yeah, pinch it straight. Let me see. Pinch it more straight. Okay. Now pinch at the top again where you were before.
here,
Not there.
here.
Little bit right there. Stop. Now bring that whole leg in at an angle. Yeah, bring them in so that the two wires are crossing. Yep, bring it in some more, some more. Let's see. More, deeper. Try to push the wire. Be a little bit more forceful. Bring the legs in like this. Watch me. Watch my hands. Watch this. Bring it in.
Sort of flip
Bring it in. Be a little more. Yep, pull tighter.
Pull
Pull
it.
tighter. Pull more. Please pull harder.
You can do it.
Keep going. Keep going. More, more, more. You have to pull a little
Like
harder.
this? Like
More,
that?
more, a little bit more.
More?
The wire keeps pulling away from you when you pull it hard, right? It bounces
Mhm.
back. So
Yeah.
you have to set the intention a lot beyond what you expect it to be because it's going to keep bouncing back.
Like that?
A little bit more.
Okay. It's going to be a very small heart.
Yes. Okay, now stop right there. Now I'm going to teach you how to fix this edge. You see this bottom right here? Like that,
Mhm.
right where it makes the X. At the point of where it makes the X on yours, take your flat nose pliers and pinch about a 1/4 inch like this.
Okay.
So you're straightening out that angle,
On both sides.
both sides.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Okay, so you see how like that created a heart shape that is pleasant, that is straight on the legs.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So now if you wanted to make it bigger, the puffs have to be made on a bigger item. Do you have a mandrel by any chance? You
I
can,
don't have a mandrel.
okay, so let's
I
pretend.
only have a bracelet mandrel.
Oh, okay. Well, let's pretend you did, and I'll show you what you would do. You would force that puff in here, okay? Because you have all this extra wire, and you're like, well, what do I do with it? Force the puff in there, and then you would slide it down. Notice I'm not going to let go. Slide it down. Bring the leg in.
Okay.
Force that puff in here. Slide it down. You can mark it too if you need to. If you want both of your puffs to be the same.
Okay.
And you can do that kind of thing to use up all the wire.
Okay.
You can take your chain nose pliers and you can put that dent in a little deeper. Okay, now I'm going to show you what to do with this last piece of wire since mine just matched up so perfectly. I'm going to take it with my chain nose plier or my flat. I'm going to make a 90-degree angle. I'm going to pop it into this hole right here. And then I'm going to press it down. To press it down, I'm going to take my plier and just fold it over and pinch. Now, you see how like that got kind of distorted? Don't worry, you can press that out. Let's say this angle didn't stay in. You can press that back in. So many things. I think my heart is a little sad though, because I've done so many things to this piece of wire right now. So please don't judge that. I think I've tried to do this little heart so many times, but you can keep reshaping it and making the size bigger or smaller.
Okay.
So to use up all the wire, your heart is saying that the puffs have to be bigger.
Okay.
Or the legs have to be longer. Okay, so let's think about this on the heart. The two things you can change on your heart when you have wire is the size of the puff or the length of the legs. Those are your only two options. Or you cut the wire, right? The only two things you can change is the size of the puff or the length of the legs. So when you look at your piece, use that to determine what is the next step. Now, Debbie, let's make a heart that has this loop. Oh, I think I took that one away. Oh, here, with this loop. And I want you to do this because if you ever want to start writing names, letter writing, you need to
Yeah.
understand how to turn angles with loops like this, where you don't see the loop. This is
Do I need to, can I switch to 18 gauge at this
mine.
point?
yes, you can change to 20 if you want, but I'll try this because this is a very, very good skill in changing the angle of your wire without showing, so if you're going forward, but you need to go up. How do you get from forward to up? We're going to do it by turning a loop that's invisible to the eye. Okay, so let me just do a demonstration.
Thank you.
I'm trying to think what's the best way to demonstrate it. Hold on. I'll cut the wire. I don't want to make one puff first, but I can't. Hold on. Let me see what's the easiest way to do it. Okay, so this kind of looks like a breast cancer ribbon, right? Let's like look at this wire as such. But when you look at it like this, the loop should be invisible. Look at it this way. Let's look at it this way. The loop is invisible, correct?
Yes.
So now you have to think a little differently. We're going to hold it so that our puff comes out this way. You see how like the loop is still in, oh, this is a hard one to show on Zoom. Let me see if I can, let me make it first and then I'll show it to you guys. It's so 3D. Oh, thank you, Jason.
Mhm.
So here is
Good
the
trick.
initial loop. Let me make it again. 1 second. Like this. It looks like that. But then I used my wire this way. So you can't see the loop from the front. And it's so quiet. I'm like, okay, how can I show this? Wow, this is my first attempt to show something three-dimensional like this on a Zoom. Most times we do things that are flat and you can go, oh, from the front, but I need to show it to you from the side. Hold on. Do one more step. Maybe a bigger wire too. Okay, let's do it like this instead. Let's do it from left to right versus middle out. I'm going to make the first puff of my heart. Okay, see the first puff coming? Then I want to make the second puff, but I don't want you to see the wire. So watch my wire. So how I bent it?
Oh.
Okay, everybody see that? How I just bent it up?
Mhm.
And then I'll do the next puff. So we're building it not the way we did everything else.
You're not in the camera. Oh, okay.
Okay, hold on. I got to bring it closer to me real quick so I have to pull it really hard to get the leverage. Okay, here. So this loop is not like this one where it just is a dent. This is a loop that goes front to back. Do you guys want to try it so you can see what it looks like? I can walk you through it.
Sure. Why not? Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
And again, this is an important skill for when you want to do letter writing, if you want to make names. Okay.
Can I ask a fast question?
Yeah.
Can you see mine? I don't know how to
No,
do this.
I cannot. Hang on 1 second, okay? I'm going to change the screen. One
Okay.
moment.
Oh, this is scary. This Zoom thing.
Okay, hold it up.
Do I hold it up in front of the little square? Where do I hold it up
Are you
at?
doing an iPad?
Yes.
Okay, hold it up higher. You're not near the camera yet. Put it near your nose.
Oh,
Your nose is dead center.
my nose is dead.
Yeah, in your camera.
Oh, not in the little frame where I'm at.
No. So
Where's
your
where's
face
the
is in the center of your camera. So if you put your piece near your nose, then I can see it. So you have to lift your hands up closer to your face. You're almost there. Closer
I
to
don't know
your
where I don't know where my
Okay.
camera is.
put your piece near your nose because your nose is dead center of the frame. Like I can see your nose perfectly. So if you put your piece by your nose, I can see your piece.
It's by my nose. Oh, by my nose.
Your nose, like that's attached to your yeah.
I'm looking.
Okay. Okay.
How
Now
does
wait,
that work?
okay. Is your piece near your nose?
Get it right up my
Okay.
nose on my person.
Yes, on your person, on your body nose.
It's near my nose.
Okay, now stop. Stop right there. What's your question?
Okay. I didn't see the beginning how this started, but I sort of got the drift. I made this,
Okay.
but this side is more straight. This got rounded,
Yeah.
and I used my screwdriver to go down
Okay.
and to make it match. But this side is like straight. You see what I mean?
No, you have to put it by your nose, Judy. I can't see it. Not the screen
Oh.
nose, your face nose. Okay.
Oh,
There. Perfect. Stay right there. So you want to make the other side straight. Is that correct?
no, I want to make it rounded. This a little bit curved. This one is too
Okay.
straight.
So here, watch my hands. Okay, you can put it down. Can you see my hands on the screen?
Yes.
So whatever you're using, you have to take the straight part and push it around your rounded object. If your
I thought
rounded
I
object
did.
is too skinny, it's not going to work. The part of your rounded object that you're pushing it on has to be the same as whatever it was on the other side.
It is. It is.
Okay.
Oh, that made it.
Well, that made it a little better. But do I do anything to the bottom part of the wire?
Yes, watch me and I'll show you.
Okay, it's a little better, but look, right? Can you see? Well, my nose.
Yeah.
See, my screwdriver, that's all I had near me. My
Okay, keep
screwdriver goes through there.
And then push the wire around your screwdriver just a little bit more to get a curve.
On this side.
We got blurry.
So. Oh,
Thank you.
yeah, that's better, isn't it?
Nice, Lara. Judy, I cannot see I cannot see anything. Put it by your face. Put it by your eyes. Okay. Yeah, that is better.
Go, man.
That looks good. You can also separate your puffs. So like, can you look at my screen real quick? Do you see the one
I
in my
am. I'm looking.
Okay, so you see this part over here on
Uh-huh.
yours. If you want to pull it out a little, you can, or you can take your round nose plier and kind of use that to separate it. And that'll give you some
Oh.
separation. Now, if one side is
Oh.
wider than the other, you see how this side's a little bit bigger, you guys? Guess what I'm gonna do? Nancy, just guess.
Well, having a Zoom problem.
Zoom problem.
Shoots.
Judy, can you see? Should I
Is
wait?
it- Yeah, yeah, the Zoom audio went out.
Oh no,
What are
can you see now?
explaining? Yeah.
Okay, I'll keep
Okay.
explaining. So this side's a little wider. If you have that, take your flat
Right.
pliers and just pinch. I know,
Oh,
I don't
okay.
think you saw this part yet. So pinch, 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 pinch. You see that?
Oh, yeah.
Now take your finger and push it in. And if you still
Okay.
don't like it, pinch, pinch, and push it in.
Okay. Since I did this part first,
Yeah?
I gotta be able to do my shoot, I'm sorry. Lost the words. My circle at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, now to
All
finish
right.
this, we have a loop on one side and nothing
That's
on
it.
the
Loop
other.
I don't have. I don't have a
Oh,
loop
put a
yet.
loop on. Make a loop. So now we have to get this wire into this loop. Okay, you ready? We're gonna take this straight wire and make a 90-degree angle. This is really long, so I'll cut it just a little bit to, well, it's like a little over a quarter of an inch, so it pops through. And now Nancy will take her chain nose pliers and crank it down and press it.
Gotcha.
Da, 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 da.
Thank you. This is so fun.
Do you want to fix this one?
I don't know what to do with that.
Okay, so
Okay.
Nancy has this heart,
Can
and
I-
I know that she doesn't like it. I'm going to show you how to fix it. First of all, I want anyone
Okay.
out there to identify to me, what do you think doesn't work about this heart? If you can describe it, we can fix it.
The
Kind of
V,
fat.
yeah, the V part
Like
is kind of
the
wonky.
This part here, is-
Yeah, yeah.
tell me
Yeah.
how it looks wonky.
It's like it's too much. Too much?
Too
Too
deep?
wide.
Is
Yeah.
it too deep? Okay,
Yeah.
no?
And it's too rounded.
Okay, so the V is too deep and wonky. And it's too rounded, like on the sides, right? It's like, it looks like two hands cupping, right? Let's fix that. Never give up. So we're gonna take this right here. And watch what I'm gonna do, because you're all gonna have to do this one day. Grab it. Turn it slightly down to make the loop smaller. Pull the leg out. Grab it, turn it slightly down, pull the leg out. until they look the same on both sides. Okay. Then you can be like, okay, now this puff is it's this puff on the right is still bigger than the puff on the left, right? So
Right.
grab it. Or what if Nancy says, Jimmy, that wire is so expensive and I don't want to waste it. So what should I do? Use all the wire.
Oh,
You have two
okay.
choices.
The wire.
You can only affect either the size of the puff or the length of the leg. What do you want me to do?
So you want to make a bigger puff, so you're going to use the wire, right?
Thank you.
I was trying to go for a bigger
Okay.
puff.
Perfect. So you have a wrap and tap. You have 3 sizes here, but you're with me today. You feel lucky. I'll just put it on my mandrel and I'll shove it down because that's a little bit easier. And then you can be like, oh, now the puff is too small, right?
You mean the V?
The V, because I made it smaller on
Mhm,
purpose.
mhm.
So then you're gonna say, oh, I don't like it that big, not with my crease that tiny. Although that's kind of cute.
Mhm.
So
It is cute.
So then you would, if you wanted it deeper, you'd squeeze it back together again.
yep. So then you do this. It doesn't stop, does it? As long as you know how to fix something, you can kind of keep tweaking it. So Nancy can then take this and pinch it higher up. Oh, you know, it'd be kind of fun. What if we took the V and we turned it so then it's now invisible? Da, 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 that's cute. So we just turned her V.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
cute.
you can put it back on here. And if you're like, oh, that puff is getting kind of weird looking, you can pop it out with your,
The mandrel helps.
yes, mandrels always help. Now, Nancy did this in 18 gauge, so this can't really support our large heart. So I'm going to make it smaller for her. When I say that it can't support it, meaning even after she hammers it, it's going to be kind of flimsy and you don't want to lean on it, pull it, get it caught somewhere, and then it's going to yank it out of shape because it's 18 gauge. And you can keep pulling out the hearts until you get the width you like. If you have a weird place, the answer is always pinch it. Always. Pinch it soft, pinch it gently, pinch it hard. Do something and it will change the shape of it.
So what's the recommended
Da-da-da-da.
gauge
Look how
for,
cute that is.
for a giant heart?
The
Or
recommended
bigger?
gauge,
It's cute.
16, 14, 16, 14. Yeah. So if I'm going to make one about this size,
Oh.
which is 1.5 inches, 16 or 14.
Mm.
You want to try 16 or 14 for fun?
Mhm.
You haven't yet, right? How about I give you some 16?
Okay,
Okay, you go try it and then come back
okay.
and report to all of us
Okay.
how that was.
Can I
I got
can
it.
I ask a question on that one?
Yeah.
It's laying there waiting, trying to put mine in the same position. Okay, when she makes her loop, which wire is she gonna make it on? The first one?
Oh, so you can cut this one. And we're going to turn a loop on it.
Wrong way. This way. Oh my god, please don't.
You
I
threw
should-
me off when you turned it upside down.
Don't break.
I probably should have hammered it first, but I didn't. So I just turned the loop right here. And then this other leg is going to go into it. And then turn
So-
down.
So you turned the loop down.
Yeah. So that you, but Judy, you missed the part where I was saying you can do something like this here. it doesn't have to be like that. You can turn 2 loops,
Oh,
Miss Judy, like
oh
this.
yeah.
And then you can have them next to each other, and you can bind a piece of wire over here to keep it shut,
Hmm.
which is kind of cute.
Yeah, I tried to do one of my own and then I didn't know what to do, so I wrapped it around a stone and I jammed it in.
Look what Nancy's daughter was doing in the other room.
Oh,
Oh, I did that.
she's got it.
Cute. Okay, so now can I please talk about hammering now? Because that is an important part of keeping this project in its shape. You're going to take a bench block, you're going to take your hammer, and then you're going to harden it. So it does 2 things. Okay, first I'm just going to do one side. It's restructuring the atoms, causing it to work harden. But look what it also does. It flares
Yeah.
out the wire. So anywhere that you're doing a puff and you want it to look more puff enhanced, can you see this right here? You're going to do that on the other side. You want to hit the whole piece, but you never want to hit where the wire overlaps.
It's already.
Is that your nylon tip on the end?
This
Or
is
is
a
there a
metal
hard one?
hammer. Okay, now like
A
if
metal
you
one.
hit it where the wires overlap, it's going to get brittle, cut into each other, and break. Let me see if I have a piece. Okay, so these 2 are overlapped. And I see people doing this, and I want to say, please don't do that, because that wire cut into the other one, and it'll just get brittle and break off like this. So
Right.
overlap hitting is not a good idea.
Got it.
So you want to take the other ones and you can hammer them. So anywhere but the overlap. So cute. Thank you. Okay, Miss Nanny, go make your 16 gauge one,
Okay.
so you can say you did 16 gauge.
I'll
Do you want
do
to, Karen, do you want a piece of 16 gauge too?
You gonna try the 16? Okay.
Okay. I'll give you a piece of that. What size heart do you want? Are you going to make of those 3? You want to do the biggest one in 16?
Okay.
Or do you want to do a different size? Because you can choose. Up to you. The big one. Okay.
Do you choose by the size?
Because she's going to use 16 gauge, she can make a pretty big heart. The thicker the wire,
okay.
the bigger the heart you can make. I'm going to give her a little less so you guys have 2 different sizes.
I'm using a 20.
Okay, so if you're doing 20 gauge, the max you should make with your 20 should be like a dime. 20 gauge, like a dime. If you want to go up to a quarter, you can then do it in like 18 gauge. And if you want to make it a little bit bigger, you can use 16 gauge and so on. The thicker the wire, the larger you can make your heart.
Oh, so I could have made a large one with this.
Yeah, if you have a thick wire, go for it. Make one while I'm here.
Jamie,
We finish this one.
Jamie, when you're hammering it, if you don't want a flare, can you use a rubber mallet or rubber or leather hammer, and then it's just work hardening it instead of flaring?
You can. Definitely.
Oh,
Doesn't look as cute though.
It doesn't. So I rarely recommend that, because if you're doing like a circle or something else, it's okay to work hard in it. But I think because the shape of the heart is recognizable by the puff, that if you can spend some time on making that part flared, it looks even more enhanced as a heart. I think that's part of the charm of it. No pun intended.
Right.
Now, if you want to do something like this, where you're going to drill into the heart, which I love, the minimum you can work in is 16. But even 16, made a super small surface where you can put a 0.5 millimeter hole, and then you can only fit like a 26 gauge wire in there. So just know that that's where you're going to be. If you want to make a heart, drill a hole. The reason I like this versus making a heart and using jump rings is sometimes, most times, this piece can rotate. And so then you'll end up with an upside down heart that looks kind of like butt cheeks. And then your necklace is hanging with like these butt cheeks underneath. So to keep it a heart shape, make a heart, hit it, flare it out. And if you can do it in 14, give it a shot. 16 will work, but don't use a big drill bit. We do sell the ball one. I think it's like $2. So with the 0.5 ball, you can drill a hole. Now to start the hole, don't just take your drill and put it on there. Take a period stamp, hit it with your period stamp. It'll make an indentation that the burr can sit in when it's drilling that hole. Because this is such a cute project. You guys try it. I can walk
So
you through
I have a
it.
question.
Yeah.
If you do a big heart like that and
Yeah.
you don't put the holes in it, but you use jump rings, if you put some kind of a bead at the bottom of the heart, will that hold it from
Not
rotating?
necessarily, but I'll show you what will.
Okay.
Thank you for asking, Miss Debbie. So you're going to take your heart. Okay. And then you're going to wrap like 3 times. And then you take your round nose plier, mark it with a Sharpie, pinch where you want to hold it, come around. Keep going. And in here now, you wrap 3 more times and you made your own little attachment area.
And what gauge is that wire that you're wrapping with?
Oh my God, it's in my scrappy bin. It's probably 24. You can use 24, 26, 22, whatever matches that you're doing here. But can you see what I did? Wrap, wrap, wrap. Create your own.
Wow, can you
wrap,
do the
wrap,
other
wrap.
side?
Yes, you can. Wait, you want me to do the other
No,
side?
I mean you, yes, okay.
Oh, well, I'm not going to, Judy,
Yeah.
only because I'm going to throw this away.
Okay,
But ask me any questions because I can just tell you about it. Because this is not really a real
well,
piece.
I saw you started wrapping, but I
Oh, you
didn't
did?
see the part where the loop, how you got the
Oh,
loop
I can do
in.
that. Yeah, I can do that. So you're going to come up to the top. So this is if you're doing, when you're doing one of these pieces that has
My
one,
audio is coming and going, that's why. Sure.
okay, so how's that? Laura, nod if you can see. Okay, Laura's face is in the square
It's-
right under my hands, so I can see her reactions the fastest. So then I'm going to come down around my round nose plier, so that is
Oh,
keeping it as a loop. Come through. It's actually, if you're doing this in steps, you guys, this is easier to do before you close the heart off. Because look, then you can just come around and through. You don't have to have it closed off. So if you can, if you want to do any kind of attachment work, try to do it before you close your heart. But hammer before you put these things on. Because you can't hammer once this is on. So it's like cooking, yeah? You don't want to like put the easy to cook vegetables early into the stir fry. So you kind of have to think about what you're doing. Yeah, yeah. Of course, you should see when I cook.
so you could,
I only learned that recently. I used to just throw everything in and wonder why some of my vegetables were like so overdone. It never occurred to me that it was me doing it.
Don't put the garlic in too early. All right.
Okay, I'm ready
so
for
you
any
could
questions.
do that upside down and put a dangle in.
Yes, you can put this binding thing anywhere. So let's say you had a heart, okay? Let's pretend you had a heart like this. And then we hammered it and we drilled it here. And we had a ring, and then I was dropping. But you wanted to add 5 brillettes hanging for each of your grandkids. Well, then you could put this piece over here and then wrap it with 5 loops going across, and then you can drop 5 brillettes or something from the bottom. So this thing that I'm doing, do it in soft, please. And that's another reason I didn't want to keep going. I remember I said I just picked any wire. I picked a half hard. So as I got to like the 8th wrap, my finger was like, it just doesn't want to go anymore. So use soft wire if you're going to do any binding. So if you want to make this miniature, please do it. It is so cute. Let me show you a miniature one. Maybe this is like an inch of wire. These babies are so cute. Maybe 1.5 inches. Let's cut the end. So Debbie, you remember how you showed me that you started on a straight wire? If you start when it's slightly curved, it kind of gives you the advantage. It gives you an advantage of not having to try to get your plier in so deep. And I'll show you that trick. So we start with it curved. And then we're going to crank back, and look, I already have like the bird wing happening. So
Yeah, that was a less steps.
Yes. Or I do start with it straight sometimes, because starting with it straight is the only way to get the Mary Engelbreit style heart. The high peaks and like a deeper V, you can't do that when you do it like this. You have to start with the straight wire to get that Mary Engelbreit type. I don't know if you guys know what I mean, but it's like not the wide heart, right? Yeah. So there's so many different ways you want to start something. Now, if you want to make a miniature heart, you don't have to use your wrapping taps. You can just use your Lindstroms. One thing I can tell already when I'm making a heart after I make the loop is it too high? Is it seated too high? If it is, I'm going to hold it. And watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to roll my wrist down, 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 down. So I already can make my heart lower. So rather than it being up here, I'm like, oh, I want it to be down a little bit. So then you don't have to, you check where you made that last one, transfer the pinch. So then you don't have to do so many adjustments. You can adjust in the movement that you want to do. And even if it looks weird, keep going, because I don't want my heart to be flat like that, but I do want this curvature right here. So I have to make it look like a flat heart, which I will now fix by pinching it, and it takes away the flatness. So cute. Okay, now I don't want to make loops on this. I just want this to be a solid heart. You all can do this so easily. It's almost like origami. You're going to take one piece and fold it down. And if it's being naughty and you can't pinch it, put it on your bench block and just knock it down. Like that. Oop, like that. Then take the other one and wrap it. And now there's not going to be any loops on this piece. It is just 2 pieces of wire that are overlapped and tight. So I kind of think of it like more paper folding, and I like to pinch it really, really hard, as flat as I can, so that you don't see it. And then you have a teeny heart. Oh, there. So cute. You still have to hammer it because it's still not hardened. Now, when you're doing this, carry on. Can you hear me? I forgot to tell you this. Whatever you hit on one side, you want to hit on the other. So if you have a song or you want to count to 10, but I usually use jingle bells. So I'll go like jingle bells, jingle all the way. Then I'll go to the other side and go. So that was like my signature little hammering trick of jingle bells. Because everybody knows that rhythm, right? And then you can be like, I hit it the same on both sides. I know I did hit this one about like 6 times less. So should be smaller. But that way, when you do look at it, I can't stop. I have to hit it 6 more times. There. Now they're even because I've hit them the same on both sides. And you can do that. Don't forget, if you're linking them together, to link them before you do that little folding action. Now, the folding action is the same thing as making a loop. It's just itty bitty loops. One goes one way, put in the other, and shut it down. Feel free to just try all kinds. Don't judge yourself. Don't even do it the way I do it. Just use some of the tips that I gave you to build your confidence and to build your skill, because you might find a way that suits you or that I never even tried or anybody even tried before.
Jamie,
Yeah.
you just have to hammer on one side. You don't have to flip it over and hammer.
Correct. I used to have to flip it when I wasn't a good hammerer. Because it hides the fact that you're making divots and there's bumps everywhere. But when you have a good hammer, well, that makes a difference too. If you have a good hammer and your hitting gets even after like, I don't know, maybe 10 years, then you'll find that you can do like a glass surface without having to flip it and hoping that by hitting the other side, it's making the other side flat. Yeah.
How do you hold your hammer?
With my right hand. And I hold it. Oh, that's a good question, June. How do I hammer? I used to hammer with my finger on top. And then sometimes I hammer with my thumb if it's a heavy hammer. And sometimes I hammer like this from the side, which is probably not ergonomically good. But I feel like when I'm got my face really close to it, I can't do this because my elbow is like in my boob. So I like to move my elbow to the side of my body. Becky's like, yep, I hammer like that too.
No, elbow and boob is a real problem. Like when you're trying to like, it's a real problem.
It's not even a problem for me, but I still feel like I'm really crunched when I'm hammering like that. But really, you guys, how you should be hammering is standing up, which is why I changed all the classes about 5 years ago to anything hammering. I had all my students, because your body is at its strength when it's standing, not sitting. Like when you're sitting, you're all scrunched and trying to make it work. So if you can, do not hammer sitting, but then do not hammer standing and hunched over if your table is really low either. There's so many different things to think about protecting your body, your stance, and where your power comes from.
You hammer lightly?
Not when I'm in a rush, which is all the time. So no, I'm a heavy hammerer.
Oh, okay.
And you know me, June, I like to expedite things. If I can hammer it like hard in 5 hits versus like 20 little taps, I'll do the 5 hard hits.
Yeah, but I was thinking if you're not a good hammerer, maybe light.
Yes, if you're not a good hammerer, light hits are good.
Because then you won't dent it as badly in spots.
Correct. And you can kind of develop like what your strike is.
Yeah.
But it does take a lot of time when you start going into like 14 gauge. If you kind of hammer like t, like you don't want to be doing that for like an hour, you know, like on your wrist and your forearms, like, yeah.
I'm a shitty hammerer.
Should we have a hammering Zoom one day? Everyone can have their Zooms on mute. Thank you. And then we can all practice our hammering together.
That would be 2 days before Christmas.
That would be really good. We should have a hammering one so that we can ask questions and maybe we can focus on textures, like how to make certain textures. How does the dimple look versus the lines? How does this something look flared versus like when it's just hardened. That's a good one. Because then we can learn from each other and not have to do like 200 pieces by ourselves. We can look at everybody else's.
I heard you guys talking about hammers.
You wanna, do you want to do a hammer Zoom where everyone can hammer and then see different textures and different styles of
Sure.
hammering? Oh, Jason will run that one because he's good with hammering.
You're good with hammering. We have those hammer swatches that you can show them.
Oh yeah, I have hammer swatches. I made different little swatches on. Maybe that's what you guys should do. You should make your own hammer swatches because then you can look back at it and go, how did I make that texture? Becky, your eyes lit up.
And we have
should we do a hammer swatch?
because we have two types of hammer swatches. We have the sheet metal hammer swatch, and then we have the round metal hammer swatch, which is totally different.
Yeah.
It doesn't look the same, guys. It totally looks different.
And then Becky, I did, Nancy's helping me. She is making the spreadsheet so that, you remember all the wire cards that I have? So I was actually manually doing it one by one. And Nancy goes, what are you doing? And she goes, I could just make a spreadsheet and then you can export it and you can just print it. So then
She made one.
so I will have those wire number papers very soon, but maybe we should do one for like the hammer textures too. So if you're hammering something and you're like, oh, I used like whatever the case may be, that might be a good way because I can never remember what textures I'm doing too. I'll write that down right now.
Amy,
Yeah.
this is Ruth. Was that June who said she was a shitty hammerer?
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
So I vote because I haven't hammered at all, and that's one thing that I want to get is I need to get a hammer and a bench block. I vote that June co-host your hammering because I want to see what shitty hammering looks like because that's what I will learn from. That's going to be my baseline is shitty
I'll
hammering.
mess it up and the wire gets thick and thin in places you don't want it to be.
That's okay. That's what I'm going to probably do, June. So I want to learn from that baseline.
Learn what not to do.
Yeah, the number of times I've actually broken my component trying to hammer it because you hit it like at the wrong, like
Oh no.
too hard or whatever. Yeah, that's fun.
Maybe I don't want to learn how to hammer.
No, hammering's fun. It's just you just gotta be willing to sacrifice your test project.
Well, that's why it sounds like the swatches would be a great idea.
Yeah.
Writing it down. You know what we could do? Debbie, remember the Athena? The one, we named it after the goddess of crafting. It's just a piece of 14 gauge wire, 1 inch, and then you hammer it. You hammer the heck out of it. And then you can do one side on half the inch, then you flip it and you do it perpendicular hitting. So then it looks like a propeller, you know, like imagine a bow tie, but then you flip one this way to 90 degrees. So it is like a propeller. And so we could do a hammering earring like that.
Yeah.
Okay,
That would be interesting.
how would we do it if you guys, if you don't have the hammer, you don't have a bench block, and you don't have a hole punch, what could we make?
Wait, you don't have a hammer, you don't have a hole punch, and you don't have a bench block. What can we make?
Yeah.
Loops.
Loops. Okay, so maybe we could do something with okay, we can take out the hole punch.
Yeah, the hole punch might be actually the harder part of the thing to have. Like the hammer and the bench block is like, but the hole punch, that's a whole nother level of skill beyond hammering and bench blocks, because getting the hole punch in the right spot without again destroying your thing that you just hammered is also a extra.
Becky, I take it you don't like to hole punch.
Oh, I like the hole punch on things that have lots of surface area so that if I miss, I don't like, like hole punching on the hards.
Yeah.
Like your surface area that you're aiming for is very small.
It is.
Right?
Okay.
You have to be perfect. Essentially, I mean, like almost perfect in order to even get like the tiny, like what is the smallest like hole punch? Like like to get the smallest hole punch inside of a hammered out 16-inch, or 16 gauge wire, like First of
No,
all,
no,
getting it
you
thin
just-
enough to do it.
Okay, you just gave me an idea that maybe, not maybe, I'll make a video, I'll make a heart, then I will tap it with the period stamp, and then I will drill it to show you the steps then. Because versus me just telling you to just do it. Yeah, Laura's like, yes,
Yeah.
yes, make that video. Okay, because it's honestly, it's not hard, but I think it would be confidence building to see, oh, here's what the stages are, and then this is what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we just jumped into hearts today because I thought it'd be good to have a project that you feel, you know, successful about. Normally, in order to do this, when I used to teach before, the requirement was you had to know basic wire wrap, you had to know eye pins, you had to know how to make jump rings. Then I would teach you how to make hearts. To this class today, I just said, okay, let's just go for it and make hearts. How did you guys feel about it? Was it difficult? Or was it not? Because once you got
No.
started, you're like, oh, I just had to kind of just try it and do it. And then you felt comfortable. Like, I really need some feedback because I want to teach other things, but I never know how far back do I need to start in order to do it. Because like basic wire wrap has no relevance on this heart, except that I know you have
Right.
tools,
Doesn't
right?
it?
By saying you need basic wire wrap, I know you have chain round flat cutters. Because if you don't have that, we can't do anything. So it's almost like a trick. The requirement tells me that you have the tools and that you've touched your tools. Because if you're like, I don't know basic wire wrap, then I'd be like, uh-oh, you might not know what a chain nose plier is. So teaching this as my first run out, I was a little bit like, oh, are people going to be able to do it with no wire experience? Because then I was hoping everybody came with wire experience. So please give me some feedback because I'm trying to do another, I want to do some jump ring projects, and I want to do some eye pin projects, and I want to do it where you guys are starting to build your components to make something. So then it'd be like, oh, go and make 3 linked wires, Becky, hearts, because then we can attach that to this component we're making today. And then you'll say, okay, I'll go do that. Versus, uh-oh, every time we finish, all you have is one thing, you know, and the skill level, I want the skill level to build. Do you guys feel
Progress.
like that's something we can do, or was this too difficult, not enough time, we need more basics? I mean, this is a Zoom class too, so remember, I really can't even see what you guys are doing, so I would love some feedback. And I know
Well, I
everyone's
don't think it was too
different.
difficult. If I can do it, I mean, I got a heart.
Judy's like, I don't even know where my camera is, and I did it.
Yes, I know where my nose is, but I got a heart. If I can do it, anybody can.
Good job, good job. Do you have any questions? And please be honest, because what I don't want to do is keep going and then find out that nobody wants to do it because it was so unachievable what I'm trying to do. Carrie-Ann, this is your first time doing wire, is that right? Like wire components, hammering, bench block, or have you been doing it
He's,
with YouTube?
oh no, yeah, no, not with YouTube. She's made, I don't need to speak for you, but she's made lettering.
Oh, okay,
with-
okay.
Wow.
With wire and
Yeah.
tools. Okay, that's awesome.
Let's do some kind of lettering for Christmas.
Yeah,
can
we should. I want to
put
do.
around our neck like hope or
We
something
can. We could totally
generic,
do
you know.
words.
Short word, joy.
Find this hard?
Joy. Yeah, that's simple.
Okay. I
Then
know.
we can make a necklace out of.
I want to have you just raise your hands when I ask a question. If you found this hard to do, raise your hand. If you found that you can repeat this after we end this Zoom and you're going to make more, raise your hand. Okay.
We're gonna make some more.
Yeah, thank you, Judy. And if you feel like you would need more assistance in order to make another heart, raise your hand. Okay, so it's more like Are you looking
Yeah.
for assistance, or you feel like you want to practice and you feel more comfortable having somebody say, oh, that looks good, more than you would need me to walk you through the steps? Or do you need the steps?
I just need more practice.
More
Your
practice.
your printout, your printout that you have is enough for me.
Okay. And I have a very, very old video on YouTube that shows us making it over and over. But when I do this one, you guys, I'll make it as a video and I'll do the heart. And I know as beginners, you probably want me to tell you exactly, cut it this way, turn the loop first, this and this. And the reason I don't teach like that though is on purpose, because it doesn't work for everybody. And then it sort of pigeonholes you into doing it the way that I told you to do it, which is cut the wire, turn the loop and do it. But I want you to understand the concept that you can take a straight wire and you can bend it and turn it and end up with a shape. And I think that is so powerful, because then you can make other things. So as much as like I can't help you to do it step by step, I as a teacher want to empower you to be able to do more. So if you do feel like, oh man, I wish you would just show me from beginning to end, step to step, let me know, because I probably can do a video that way. Even though I won't teach that way, I can do a video like that. You just got to let me know what it is you're looking for, because I don't want to leave you behind. I want to make sure that you do want to do the next component we're doing. But if this style doesn't work, tell me, because I can teach in different ways, or I can make videos and that, or I can even do step-by-step photos. That even works. Go ahead, Val.
There was a couple times where I thought, boy, if the camera was coming over your shoulders, like at the same angle, we would be looking at our piece, you know, because we were kind of looking at it backwards. You know what I mean?
You know what? I was making it that way.
You were. That's right. I see that now, but there was sometime that I don't know, it just looked like I was facing the like the end here. I was facing here.
So when I turn the tool up, so the way that the heart is made, the human brain wants to see it the way we visualized it, right? You want to see it like this, but making it upside down. So it is a brain trick. This particular piece is made what looks like upside down. So you are correct that it was a little disorienting. And it's funny to say that, because when I do videos for this heart, I flip the video in post editing so that people see it being made this way.
Okay.
Which is interesting, because if you pick up your tools and do it, you're going to be like, that is so awkward. How did you hold the tools like that and form it?
Right.
But the way I did show you was the way it is made. Isn't that interesting? I forgot that I actually do flip my videos for some of these, because you can't recognize the heart when I'm working on it this way.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
That's a good point. Thank you.
Yes.
This is the eggs.
Oh, Jason says if you antique it too, this is what it's going to look like.
With eggs.
With eggs.
That's
this
after 48 hours.
This is egg antique, which is not super black, but it's definitely
not shiny.
Not shiny. It's not like the.
Do you have one here?
I'm trying to look for
wow.
Right there.
And this is what it looked like.
That's
before.
How long does it take?
That one took 48 hours.
And then we ate the eggs.
I ate the eggs the day after.
Good idea.
There's no transference, because I put the shells on top of the chain, and I kept the eggs separate in there.
Well, I have a couple more heart pictures to show you.
Oh,
So
I like that. I like
if
putting
you
the
want
gems on
to
the side.
make a heart, and then I just punched a hole, and then I overlapped the two wires, and I put a jump ring in it. So I wanted something that looked kind of.
Oh, that's cool.
No loops, just two pieces of wire, hole punched, and jump ring. Raise your hand if you've hole punched before.
Yeah, what kind of?
Okay, good.
Like a regular hole punch?
It's a wire hole punch. I think I'll bring it back to introduce because there's so many fun things you can do. Here's the heart where it has the 2 holes drilled in it.
Oh, I see.
Here is a little pearl flower that I made with wire that I thought is just
Oh,
fun. If
that's
you guys ever want to do
cute.
that, I can show you how to do that. So easy. These are some
That's
pictures from the
cute.
internet to show you what you can do with hearts. So this one, I was going to turn it to the side. This one has a front to back loop. So there was, you know how I was saying that, okay, here's one that's overlap loop. This is a front to back loop on this one. This is just a spiral and it comes around and you make a hook and you hook it on the back. Super cute. This is a double heart.
Super cute.
And this one is open. So like in the beginning of the Zoom, when I was saying you can bring the 2 pieces together and bind it, that's another version. But look at the bottom. Again, it's that loop that you can't see. So that is what I want you to practice, understanding that when I say it's like a 3D thing going on, it's like, you know that the angle exists, but you don't see it because it's looped underneath. Okay. And I will save this Zoom right now. I'll stop recording.